listening to Nightmare on Film Street. The current time is 6:66. Traffic is clear ahead from here to the afterlife, but it's hell outside. For the next hour, you're on Nightmare Time. So, let's give a grave welcome to our hosts, Jon and Kim.
What's up, fiends? Welcome to another episode of Nightmare on Film Street, horror for the casually obsessed. We're out here on the road, coming to you live from the RV of Darkness. We've got the Hellhounds at bay currently.
Are they at bay?
They'll probably start barking at some point. But we're just jumping in here real quick to give you a quick intro for this week's episode. It is part 2 of Saw Win Scares, Kim's little baby podcast series. And we are talking about...
I did it. I got the fall vibes, guys. I did it.
And this week, bringing in the fall vibes, Children of the Corn from
What is
1984.
more fall than stalks of corn?
Pumpkins?
Yeah.
Pumpkin monsters?
Yes.
Revenge? Mm-hmm. And also murdering your parents.
Pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Before we get into full spoilers in this movie, Kim, you want to give me 3 good things about Children of the Corn for anybody that hasn't had a chance to see it yet?
Yeah. Mass murder in a diner. That's one.
Right? Just like fucking Purge style. All the kids in a town decide, we don't like our parents anymore.
That's pretty great. 2, evil corn. Corn parts on its own.
That's a lot of fun.
Sinister intentions.
Sentient corn.
I love me some evil corn. And then part 3, we're going to go with weird corn god, devil, demon, evil corn entity. Corn-related entity. Not the corn. The entity who walks among the rows.
Questionable Stephen King monster is what I'm hearing. So those are 3 good things, 3 reasons why we think you should check out this goddamn movie. This was actually like a surprisingly fun watch. We're going to get into it in a little bit.
It's such an odd movie to have so many sequels. I'm just putting it out there. I know we talk about it.
Why are there so many Children of the Corn movies? It's bizarre.
Like, who saw this and was like, IP?
But like one last thing real quick, Kim, I know it's Halloween season, so the answers to this are pretty simple, but what is keeping you creepy this week?
Yeah, we are heading to Brooklyn Horror next week from the 13th to the 17th.
That's when we'll be there. The festival runs a little longer than that.
Yeah, no, we're going to be there from that point. And we're going to check out a bunch of horror films. The new VHS movie is playing there. A little horror film called Symphony. Horror anthology is playing there. I've heard good things.
May or may not have directed a segment in it.
And yeah, so we've been lots of traveling ahead of us. Also, we're going to head to Nightmares in Ohio. If that is in or around where you are, hit us up and we'll grab a beer at the festival because... believe it or not, that film Symphony is also playing there too.
I'm really excited to see this movie with a crowd. I think everybody appreciates a horror anthology, especially around Halloween.
I'm worried though, what if people hate it and then I have to duck out that exit door that you've always wanted to go through, beside the theater, you know, that exit door, and you're like, does this really lead to an exit or is this just a painted wall?
Yo, if you have to sneak out early because you're worried there will be a riot in the theater, that's how you know you've made it.
Any emotion is better than a meh. I'll take anything, really.
Yeah, of course.
And then also, because Jon mentioned we're high in the Halloween swing of things, we have been doing the 31-day horror challenge. It's been such a blast checking out all of your watch picks and your setups. You guys are doing some real creative stuff. We've got dogs dressing up. We've got drawings. We've got cocktails. It's always such a blast. So be sure to follow the challenge guide, even if you're starting late, even if you're just hopping on the train now. It's totally fine. There's a different prompt for every day, and you just use the hashtag 31-day horror challenge. You can grab the graphic and enter the contest. We're doing a big giveaway as well over at nofspodcast.com/horror challenge.
Lastly, before we jump into the episode, I just want to give a quick shout out to indie project right now that's currently crowdfunding. They're on Seed and Spark. It's kind of like Indiegogo and Kickstarter. It's for a movie called Delicate Arch. They're set to shoot in November of this year. They are just looking to complete funding to, make it as big and bad as possible. It's set in the desert of Utah. And honestly, this is gonna track for nobody except you, Kim, but it kind of gives me Outwaters vibes.
Ooh!
Yeah, it's not a fully found footage movie, but Rodney Asher has just recently signed on as executive producer.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, Rodney Asher, director of Room 237, Glitch in the Matrix, which came out earlier this year.
All of your favorite horror documentaries.
Oh my god, right? The Nightmare, that sleep paralysis one. So yeah, he is on as an executive producer for this project, and he, on Twitter at least, has described it as Phase 4 meets the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, that sounds so dope.
Right?
And is it partially found footage, or...
I'm getting a found footagey vibe from it, but the way it's describing, like, it's actually even way more intricate than that. Like, I think this is going to be, like, a huge mindfuck of a movie. It seems as though they are shooting it in 3 different formats, so it's...
it's, like, spliced together?
Well, I think it has, like, a choose-your-own-adventure type
element.
Yes! Yeah, like, they're trying to make it interactive, like a video game, but it is still a movie, and it's, like, there are, like, an alpha mode, a zeta mode, and a beta mode. Like, one is, like, your standard,
is there
2x3 5.
Mode? Is there a wuss mode?
I highly doubt it. But yeah, like you've got your standard movie format, a more of like a VHS style film grains format, and then there's one for your like vertical screen, like on your iPhone or something.
Cool.
So I think you're going to get sort of an option
different things out of it depending on where you watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really smart.
It sounds rad. And if they are real close to finishing funding right now on Seed and Spark, and if you want to help bring this project to life, just head over to bit.ly/delicatearchpick. Arch, obviously A-R-C-H. Delicate spelled the way you spell delicate. It's a bit.
And pick as in P-I-C?
Yes. bit.ly/delicatearchpick. It sounds like such a cool indie horror project, and I really hope that we can experience
I'm going to back it now. I think
that
sounds
right?
dope.
It sounds so fucking cool.
I want to watch that.
Make all your Halloween dreams come true this year and watch a fucked up movie. It's loosely based on like a big old drug trip that the director took in the early 2000s while he was in film school. So yeah, really excited to let this movie melt my brain.
But it's time to walk among the rows. Between the rows?
I think between the rows?
Between the rows. We're
gonna die in the corn.
We're going in the corn.
We'll be back in a few minutes, but in the meantime, here's the trailer for Children of the Corn.
Every child is afraid of the dark, the unknown, the nightmare. In Gatlin, Nebraska, that nightmare is in the corn. Stephen King's Children of the Corn.
Praise God! Praise the Lord!
From Stephen King, the author of Carrie, The Shining, The Dead Zone, and Christine, an adult nightmare. Children of the Corn.
I'm here, Lord! I'm ready!
Stephen King's Children of the Corn, an adult nightmare. Coming soon from New World Pictures.
Children of the Corn is currently sitting at a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 37% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 2.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which my favorite part of, I haven't seen Children of the Corn in years. My favorite part of this rewatch for me is the opening credits of the movie where you say to yourself out loud, oh, this is a Stephen King movie.
I have just completely no memory of Children of the Corn. I figured we would start this talking about our history. So much so that I think that there isn't even a folder in my brain for Children of the Corn, because there was a remake in 2020 during the pandemic that came out, and we ran a review on the website.
Really? Man, there's no folder in my brain for the remake, I'll tell you that. I acknowledged it like I remembered. I don't. I was like, oh, there was. Nope.
Yeah, I don't know which one of us edited that review, but we know the gist of the one of us somewhere, hopefully, maybe.
I mean, I've seen this movie before. I have not watched it since I was a child.
So my Children of the Corn. So let's start this. John, what's your corn history?
I read the short story that it's based on.
How old were you when you first read it?
Probably like 11, maybe 10.
All right, so like
old enough that like when I would read
like
these...
that darn Malachi?
I was. I don't know if I read the book before I saw the movie. It doesn't really matter, but I was definitely old enough, young enough that. The trip from the bed to turn the light off and back to the bed in the dark was scary.
Were you afraid of the corn?
I hated this story.
Did you look out your window and like, thank God there's no cornfield out there?
I don't remember much of this story at all. There's a few from Night Shift is the collection of short stories that it's from. You actually see the book in the movie. It's on the dashboard of the car when they're driving into town.
All right, Stephen King fan over here.
Well, it was the exact same copy of the book that I had. It's like the hand with the bandages, but it's got a whole bunch of eyeballs on it. Yeah, I didn't love the short story. I remember very little about it. I didn't love the movie, and I remembered very little about it.
Did your parents let you watch it?
I don't know if they let me watch it, but yeah, I watched it around the same time. I probably watched it at a friend's house, like the same friend whose dad showed us The Thing and Fright Night, and like he had every 80s horror movie on VHS, and that's just where we hung out.
So my entire Children of the Corn history, I've talked about this before on the podcast, how we had a cottage that we went to every summer.
Yeah.
And there was a jumbo video there, and we would always rent movies, just tons of movies.
Is this one you rented or one that you stared at constantly?
This is one that was rented that I was not allowed to watch.
Okay.
So this was, I would say, under 10. I was probably like 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. Back when, the adults would send us to bed in the one bedroom of the cottage.
Like 5 feet away from the TV, right?
Exactly. So it was 5 feet away from the TV. It was just beyond the fireplace. And they would block the door with this little metal dog because the door wouldn't stay closed.
Okay.
Because it was a really old fucking creaky cottage. And I would always like, oh, gotta go pee again. And I would sneak out. I would move the little dog and I would walk to the bathroom, but I would like crane my neck just to see a little bit.
Taking my leisurely stroll to the bathroom.
Yeah, I watched Jaws for the first time that way. I saw like 3 whole minutes of Jaws. I don't think it was the first one they were watching. It was probably like the 4th or the 5th because there are a billion of them.
There's a lot of Children of the Corn.
But all I remember is like a hooked scythe just like running through a disembodied scythe running through the cornfield. And that was enough for me to be like, I can't sleep.
That's great.
The corn is bad. We were in it's cottage country. To get to the grocery store, you have to drive through 20 minutes of cornfields.
Yeah. Have you ever played in a cornfield?
Yeah, haven't you? No, what?
It's fucking terrifying. Yeah, I have, like, family that had farms and stuff, and, like, we would go to their house.
I've gone to a corn maze, like a ticketed scenario.
Okay, and that is a defined path. Like, hey, no problem, you're not gonna get lost, just follow the path. What happened to us? We got fucking lost.
And then it fucking rained, the craziest rainstorm, and we were stuck in a cornfield.
We came out like sewer rats. It was kind of hilarious. No, but...
I was just worried about slipping and dying in that corn.
So, I mean, it got wet, it got slippery,
Leave me here. I will eat my way out.
I'll build a little fire, and one cob at a time, I'll gain my strength and find the exit. So, yeah, your little child brain is scared of the movie because you're driving down roads that have cornfields on either side.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, like, the reason that I was so amped to check this movie out as a kid is that I had played in cornfields, and they are scary to play in.
You're just a little hillbilly, aren't you?
I guess so. I had my little overalls, one strap undone, straw in my mouth, no shoes.
clopping around trying to avoid the coyotes that hide in the fucking corn.
What?
That's the thing. We weren't allowed to play outside, especially in the corn, at night because you can't see what's in the corn. Playing in corn is scary because
This is like real manhunt.
yeah, but the
You guys want to play serious manhunt?
it's deceiving because it's all perfectly laid out rows, right? So when you're looking down a row, you can see all the way down, and then when you turn to go a different way, you don't. Like it's just though, like it has a cascading optical illusion effect. Anybody who works in corn is fucking hates hearing me talk about this. Like, you fucking idiot! And you just turn and you can see the house. But I mean, it's not hard to get lost in a cornfield. Is kind of what I'm getting at, because you think, oh, it's all just, it's like the city streets in New York. It's a grid system. I walk this way, I turn, I walk that way. The next thing you know, you're like, I'm fucking lost. I can't see the house anymore, and I'm scared.
Aw.
Yeah, no, it's
Did
great.
you braid some corn stalks together so they were strong enough for you to climb up and get a vantage point?
You're asking if I climbed the corn like a ladder?
Yes.
I think I just jumped and then I saw the roof of the house and go, that direction is where I need to go. But for like a half a beat, you're like, I'm lost out here. This is where I live now.
But don't you wreck the corn? Like, won't the farmer be mad? Or are you talking about after harvest?
I think...
Because, like, you're just like a little fat kid, just like pushing stalks from side to side. They're all getting bent and screwed
How
up.
big did you think I was? Like, I'm not like a wrecking ball, just like, boom, 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 going through the... Yeah,
Well,
sure, I was a pudgy boy.
Were
but-
you gentle?
Of course.
Were you respectful of the corn?
I wanted to eat that corn so bad I would not do anything to hurt it.
You're like petting the corn.
I will. That was probably also around the time though that I got interested in UFOs, and I was like, man, it'd be sweet if we could do our own little crop circle.
That was my follow-up question I was gonna ask, is if you've ever done a crop circle.
I have not.
That's my one little dream. But I don't want to be a shitty crop circle maker. Like, I want to, like, long con, befriend a farmer, get
Okay.
real close, get him real drunk one night and be like, hey, when you're done harvesting, can I go make a crop circle?
So-
and then you pretend that you don't know that I made it, and then we could all be like, oh, an anomaly.
Right? I would love.
And then we
love
pinky
to do
swear,
that.
and then we high five under the table. We make a little secret handshake, our crop circle handshake.
But do you do it in the middle of the day or do you do it at night?
Oh, the dark of the night.
Okay, cool. You're gonna get eaten by something.
Probably.
Yeah, and then you're
Bugs,
you're
mainly.
you're smart to make friends with the farmer though, because otherwise you get shot.
Or he sends his dogs after you.
Again, eaten by something. Yeah, yeah. So corn is creepy, I guess, and I think that's where, like, Stephen King, everything, right? Like, oh, what if corn is creepy? Oh, what if a typewriter's creepy? Oh,
No,
what if this car is creepy?
Stephen King is like, small town people are creepy. You know who small town people are? Farmers. They're fucking creepy.
And kids, like, oh, we've got to have a kid with a psychic ability for no reason.
Nobody's really psychic in this. They mention, they're like, oh, little Sarah's psychic. And
What are you
we're
talking
like,
about? She's got the gift of the sight. She's prophesizing that the adults are coming. That's how they know.
Oh, because of her little colorings.
Yeah.
They were good.
The colorings?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Loved them. The adult that did them did a really great job.
The art director. yeah. Here, your job is to do kids paintings. Like, ugh. Getting assigned that is either like, I'm so good at my craft that I can make it look like an 8-year-old did this, or I'm the worst on the team and they're giving me this bullshit job because I draw like an 8-year-old.
Either way, the drawings were fine.
Yeah, the drawings are fine. The thing about Children of the Corn, though, is that my least favorite part of damn near every Stephen King story is the religious zealot character. And this is just a movie with only religious zealots.
When they were having
characters.
their cornfield sermon, you were like, okay.
I get so annoyed with the talking. Just like he said upon you, go hurt that man and cast him down with the power of my might. And I'm just like, it's soup to me. It's just word
Your
salad.
Isaac impression was pretty good, though.
And then I just stop listening.
To be-
the fucking the woman in the grocery store in the mist.
Oh, she's the worst.
Even Kathy Bates to an extent kind of has a little bit of that in her. But yeah, Children of the Corn, they're all just, I hate the evangelical Westboro Baptist church style villains. I don't like it.
why did we watch Children of the Corn then?
This was your fucking idea, and I fostered, your creativity and agreed to do this with no complaint until we sat down to record.
I just wanted to be harvesty. I wanted to feel harvesty.
Did you feel harvested?
I do, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Very much I do. So this was my first consuming of Children of the Corn. My first, conscious attempt to watch this. It was kind of one of those movies that's just like, oh, I know what this is. Like Village of the Damned, I know what this is.
Yeah. Well, did it surprise you at all, or did you just know what this was?
Well, the fact that it's a couple going to the town and stuff, it surprised me. I guess I anticipated a quieter, more paranormal movie. Maybe just from that one memory I have. Like, I saw 30 seconds of a scythe running through corn. And corn moving on its own.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the whole movie. It's
okay.
like ghostly corn, and you don't actually see the children. Like, you don't really see the children. Like, you hear them laugh, and you can see, the weapons, and they kill everybody. You don't even, see them at all.
You thought it was an A24 elevated horror movie.
I thought it was A24's Children of the Corn.
Okay. There are scenes where the kids sort of, swarm and attack that are exactly like that. Like, we're only seeing, close-ups of weapons.
Yeah, but they look like the fucking gang from Clockwork Orange, getting chains wrapped around their hands.
Yeah, it's badass. I love that. Those, especially when they kill the gas station attendant, who they've basically just said, you continue to give us fuel and we won't kill you and your dog. And then one day they break that promise. They break that promise real hard. But when they...
Rude.
Yeah. When they're sort of hiding in his garage and stuff, that scene is great. I fucking love that stuff.
All of the beginning stuff is dope. And then it's
where you don't see the kids, is that what you're saying? All the beginning stuff where you don't see
Well,
kids.
no, when the kids are all evil in the diner,
oh, sure.
That's an unlock for the movie for me. 10 minutes in, is it 10 minutes in?
Oh, man, we're maybe 2.5 minutes in.
So it happens up at the top, and you're just like, okay, I fuck with you, Children of the Corn. Where are we going? All the adults are dead? Fuck yeah.
It's brutal,
and then it's
too.
3 years later.
Oh.
All the kids are, wearing fucking field dresses and talking biblically, and you're like, oh, I wanted to see them,
Murder.
Be sad a bit.
Be sad a bit.
Well, clearly not all of the kids in town were on board.
It seems just 2 of them weren't. Everybody else was super on board.
I guess that's true.
There's a god in the corn who we think is cooler than the god in this book.
Yeah, so in the scenario, what I'm assuming is, for some reason, the little kid narrator tells us that all of the kids are in the field that day. He's the only little boy that didn't go to the field.
And his sister's sick at home.
Yeah, and something crazy happened in the field. I guess Isaac, was wearing a cool hat, and he was on a power trip, and he convinced all of the kids to murder their parents. Because from that scene, we just see Isaac standing outside with the coolest hat ever.
You like it?
It's a really cool hat. He looks like a really good villain until he starts talking. And he's glaring in the diner, and everybody's like, slice, slice, kill our parents. And he's like, yes, ha ha ha, my bidding. And so you think that he's this big bad villain, and he's convinced all of these boys about his weird, probably fictional religion.
Yeah.
But then we cut forward to the future, and everybody is on board with this religion. They all believe in this God. He is just a preacher.
Yes.
And he's just helping them facilitate their religion. He's not a cult leader in a sense. I was expecting more cult leader, if that makes sense. A Charles Manson type.
Okay.
But he was more I'm a child star, and I get tutored in my trailer, and I only drink English breakfast tea.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's not exactly a cult. Well, it's 100% a cult.
It is a cult, but it doesn't have an enigmatic leader, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
And I see what they're trying to do with pitting Isaac and Malachi head to head. It's like that, I don't know if you're as big of a fan of Road to El Dorado as I am, but that's a very similar story where you have the appointed leader, the actual leader, and then you have the second hand who wants to rule with blood and violence.
Yeah.
And how those come to a head.
I love that they disagree, but it's built on a foundation of we murdered everyone in town to get what we want. So, no matter what, they both agree about ruling in blood.
Yeah, for more or less. I guess because they were still getting something out of that single adult. They're he was getting us gas. And I guess they were still getting deliveries through him. If the delivery stopped at the gas station and never actually went in town.
Yeah.
Because they got to be getting food and shit, right?
And I would
They're not
assume...
just eating solely corn. Maybe they are.
Maybe they are. Maybe that's what's made them crazy, right? Like we're only eating corn and drinking blood on our birthdays.
We got corn biscuits, we got corn chowder, we got corn soup, we got that is chowder. We got corn grilled on the cob, off the cob, popped.
Sweet, creamed. Man, you could totally live on corn.
And bread.
Yeah, right? You get
Stop!
You say that like you're not the person who's like, could we maybe just like dust this with cornmeal? Like anything we eat, you're just like, maybe just a little cornmeal.
Yeah, but I don't
just
like,
punch it up a little.
I don't like corn in its native state.
Yeah.
I like when it's high fructose.
Yeah. So yeah, the movie is just Bert and Vicky. Is that the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bert and Vicky driving
and
through
Sarah
town.
Connor.
Right, Sarah Connor. This is a fucking crime. Linda Hamilton is...
She doesn't need fucking Bert. They should have just had like fucking Vicky goes to town, saves some kids.
Right? She just rolls in, no sleeves on her shirt, kicks open a door, grabs 2 kids she wants, and leaves. Like, that's what should have been the movie. But no, we gotta deal with her having the most bullshit character. They give her nothing to do in this movie.
She does a dance at the beginning.
It's not even
the most random dance.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, it's your birthday. Here's a dance about
it's like
finishing
sexy
school.
teacher. And she's like, isn't he a doctor?
I think the thing that pisses me off the most is that this is the same year that Terminator came out. Like the exact same year. And we can see that she can carry a fucking movie on her goddamn shoulders. And in this is just like, oh, Bert, don't.
Outlander,
Oh.
we have your woman.
I wish they only called them Outlanders. They call them interlopers is their big thing. They're like, kill the interloper. You're like, hey, I hate to ruin this for you, but at some point, 2 of you are gonna have to become interlopers and make more kids for the corn.
Ooh.
Right? Because like, isn't that the thing? Like, you turn 19, we carve a pentagram in your chest, we all drink your blood and push you into the corn, and then the god eats you.
I like
So
that.
at some point, they're gonna run out of kids. They're gonna run out of children of the corn. Like, they're not. It's not like they've set up this elaborate system where the guy who runs the gas station and sends whole families toward them. They kill their parents and keep the kids.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
That's probably one of the sequels.
Oh, I like that.
I swear to God.
What a reverse harbinger that is.
Oh, that's actually a really
Instead
good,
of like deterring people from going, they're like, oh yeah, you want to go that way, down that road to Gatlin, you see? Nothing in Gatlin that's bad, not at all.
Some fun activities for the kids.
Oh, you don't need to fill up your gas that much. I think a quarter tank will do.
I swear to God, I have a memory of one of the sequels of this movie is like a kid who looks just like Isaac going into the big city. Like I like the Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn take
Manhattan. Exactly. It's like their creepy cousins go to live with them, and then they just, I don't know, start growing corn in the backyard in a bucket or something.
We kind of got into the religion a little bit, and it does not make any fucking sense.
Like yeah.
So their god is the thing that walks between the rows. Okay, like, sure, that's a great fucking line, Stephen King.
It's pretty great, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of his, like, it becomes a mantra because even Stephen King knows it's good, so he's just like, well, we're gonna fucking milk this. Like,
well, you said, like,
something the post before he gets the ghost. Like, oh, okay, all right.
We should probably stop shitting on him too much because I think the short story is maybe 15 pages, you know? And so it's not trying to be a whole ass movie.
Okay, well, so apparently he wrote the first draft of the script, and
then all the fault is back on his shoulders.
No, they didn't go with it. They didn't like it.
No, but they kept the repeating phrases, I'm sure.
But the first 35 pages were Vicky and Bert having a fight in the car, and they were like
35 pages.
35 pages.
1984. This is definitely cocaine era Stephen King.
And he's like, no, this is integral to the plot.
This is it. Yeah. No, we need this. It's important.
But so what is the god's intent? Like, I do like that
Blood.
we don't. I do like that we don't know a lot about it. But is that because there isn't?
There's nothing there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, kids. I don't know why, but okay. Yep. Corn. Okay. I don't know why. Yep. killing the adults. Okay, yep, don't know why.
Well, I think it's really just like the kid, like the why of the kids is just that it's a great image that all of these kids killed their parents, and the corn is just that, like, you know, if you're like the wind blows through the corn, and like all the corn in front of you for the first 50 feet doesn't move, but there's an area in the back that's swaying, and you're like, there's something in there. It looks like there's something in there.
Yeah, and like the corn moving on its own and stuff, like that's all really great, scary imagery.
Oh, and also the corn moving, the corn like parting, be like, hey, maybe come this way. That's all hilarious.
But is the corn also the one that's like putting the town signs down? Is the corn reaching out and moving signs
like
from
Gatlin
different areas
signs?
of the road?
I love that idea. I don't remember if the corn actually kills people or not, because, and this is just like stupid me at like 10 or 11.
We did have one or two Evil Dead-y moments where the corn was wrapping around Bert's like legs and arms and stuff.
Yeah, like it seems like the corn maybe moves a little bit, but it's also like the god is kind of this weird orange
demon
glow.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did forget about that indeed.
Yeah, so there's inside the group, I think it's because the place is starting to fall apart. There's really nobody can see any end in sight for this. Like we just kill each other, send each other into the corn. You know, there's no parents and it's great and all, but also no one's here to buy us ice cream.
What is the benefit for the kids?
I don't know.
Because clearly the little ones who are escaping to the houses every day so they can play with toys and listen to their records and stuff, like, they're not having a grand old time.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like any religion, right? It's eternal damnation. Like, if you don't live this way, then you will spend eternity in a worse place. Mm-hmm. So for them, living this life is what they're supposed to do because it's what their God has decided. I do love that the movie, like, all the characters refer to, not all the characters, but, like, you know, Bert and Vicky and to an extent Job and Sarah refer to this god as the false god in the corn. It's like, you can see that it is a very real entity, a monster. It has superpowers. It kind of seems like a god, but you're like, nope, there's a different god, and that's the one true god, and this is a false god.
Yeah, but if you have a god, then any other god is a false god. But when you call something a false god, isn't it like a demon that's trying to impersonate itself as a god? And so, like, in that sense, it makes sense that it's chosen children because children are easier to deceive. And so if this is a demonic entity, like, what's the demonic entity's end goal? If it's not to it's not to take over the world or anything, because if it's happily hiding in these cornfields,
yeah,
and it doesn't really want to leave, like, it's not possessing these kids, it's not sending these kids to orphanages all across America. What does it want? Just to live and have people worship it? Okay, is that a movie?
Can I say something stupid? I don't think it had ever occurred to me that, like, maybe it's just a demon. Like, it's a demon pretending to be a god.
I think they call it a demon.
Huh. Well, maybe just because it eats people and stuff. It also appears as fire at the end of the movie, right?
And it's like, whoa,
I don't know, that killed me. So just talking about what the demon looks like. What the fuck is up with Isaac's death? Because they kidnap Vicky.
They turn on Isaac so fucking
real
fast.
Quick, right? There seems to be no reason for it.
Yeah, that is a season 7 murder in season 2.
They turn on Isaac real quick. They decide that he is not, or at least Malachi decides that he's a shitty leader. He's really just like butthurt that Isaac gave him shit for not killing these kids and also killing the only guy who has been able to get them fuel and packages and whatever else. So instead of killing Vicky, who they string up on a crucifix like a cop that they had previously, there's a skeleton of a cop.
The Blue Man.
The Blue Man. Why do they call him the Blue? They know what police are. They haven't been at this for generations. They haven't forgotten what society was. They still have very clear memories of killing their parents and what their parents did for work.
I think about that all the time when we see the Mennonites in town. We live in a really religious area.
Yeah.
In the Canadian Tire, and I'm like, aren't you guys not allowed to drive?
It's a hardware store, by the
Why
way,
are you
everybody.
here? But it's like a hardware store specifically for auto stuff. I mean, it has other stuff, but it is for your auto.
It has a lot of...
Their village has a windmill. There's no electricity. Like, I
think that's a tourist destination. I don't think we've actually seen where the Mennonites live.
Oh.
Mennonites are not like the I don't know, man. There's a lot of different versions of Mennonites in Amish, and like some people are cool with cars, and some people are like horses and buggies.
I know,
are
but
my thing.
they're literally wearing the same outfits that these Children of the Corn kids
Yeah.
are wearing, like the long paisley dresses and like to their wrists and ankles.
Yeah.
But Canadian Tire.
Just say the hardware store. No one listening to this knows what the fuck a Canadian Tire
Canadian
is.
Tire did try to go to America, but people were confused.
Yeah. It's a weird name for a store.
It's the Canadian Tire.
Okay, sure. So we don't understand how they live and why they do what they do, but they do it, and it seems to be cool with them. And the same is true about these kids.
Just tell me the year. What year is it?
1984.
No, I mean for them, in their hearts. What year is it?
Oh, I see.
Just give me a cutoff. If it's like 46, okay, there were cars.
Are you saying, okay.
If it's 02, like,
I thought you were going to say the cutoff is 1946 and they can only drive like Model A's and Model T's.
Exactly.
Like you can have a car, but it has to be old-timey.
Like, can the women vote or can't they?
That's a great question. My guesses would be that they
They
probably don't
can't.
vote.
Yeah.
Just in general, I don't think any of them vote.
They French braid and have babies.
But they make a great bread, and we're all happy about that.
Are you trying to get out of this?
I'm trying to spin out. Like, come on, let's just get back to the fucking movie.
John's trying to e-brake in the safest way possible.
Okay, hey, fine. Let's get real. I think all religion is weird. Doesn't matter what religion. Okay.
You got one? It's weird.
Yeah, back to horror movies. My religion, also weird. Isaac gets strung up, and they kill him because Malachi is all like, I'm just a little bit older than you and madder than you, and I don't have a girlfriend, so I guess I want to stab people.
My voice is dropping, and I'm turning 19 soon, so I'm really nervous about it.
And everybody makes fun of me because of my ginger hair. I'm so sorry. It's not my fault. You're dead. So, like, yeah, they turn on this
And
guy
everybody's
real quick.
cool with it. They're like, yeah, Malachi's cooler.
Yeah, they're just, I think he's just got a sharper knife is what it comes down to. They're like, you know what? We're real sick of this Isaac guy and his, like, preacher talk. And I'm sure this kid gave a great fucking audition for the role, too. Like, he just came in and he gave them the fire and brimstone. And they were like, we got a movie.
Okay, so you know the Orphan movie? There's a new one that's out right now.
Yeah.
And how the girl is like 30 playing like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
That's Isaac, right? Isaac was played by a 52-year-old man.
You know, Isaac, I learned today, is horror royalty. Now, I don't remember it. Like, watching the movie, I was like, this kid looks a little familiar. And I wanted to see where he was from and if it was anything that we had seen. And
Am I about to get schooled here?
I found out. Well, one, I have no fucking idea how old he is. I did not look at his age. I don't care. But I found out that what I probably recognized him from is the creepy, weird, pizza-eating mad scientist from Tammy and the T-Rex. He's the one who cuts...
Oh, yeah!
He's the one who cuts Paul Walker's head open with a skill saw, and they're just like eating pizza, tossing the crust inside his empty brain. Hilarious. He also plays the walkabout Chucky, like in the original Child's Play. You know when you see Chucky like running up the stairs, and you're like, that is a real kid with a wig on. That's him. That John Franklin, I think, is the actor's name.
Oh, wow.
Also plays fucking cousin It in Addams Family and Addams Family Values.
Oh, good for him.
He's the little dude underneath the giant Florida, head to floor wig. That's him. Yeah.
And he gets married and has kids.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
What a great movie.
The accountant's wife, right?
Yes, yeah. Anyway, John, he he's the guy who plays Isaac, who gets killed in this movie, and his death is super duper weird. They're gonna like burn him at the stake, but then the fucking
He becomes
demon
like a
shows up.
zombie, though.
Yeah, what's
It's like
up with
the
that?
demon possessing him. Because normally when you have a lead preacher in a crazy cult, and they're like, he only talks to me, he chose me.
It's bullshit.
You're like, that's bullshit. Yeah.
Seems
But
like it was true in this scenario.
It seems like this was a rare case where the demon was only talking to him.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, don't kill me. You're gonna make this guy super mad. I'm his mouthpiece. He's gonna be real upset about it, and it turns out he was.
But how mad was he, though?
Mad enough to possess the dead body of his apostle and kill Malachi.
But then what? Nothing else.
Yeah, I guess he didn't have anything
The
else
corn
at that
didn't
point.
all turn and glare at them.
Oh, that would have been fucking cool. Holy shit. And they turn, they have little corn eyebrows, and they're all super mad and furrowed and shit.
Like, and the corn all, goes rotten, and then the kids have nothing to eat. Give me
that'd
that.
be interesting. I'd like that, yeah. But we're not even talking about how weird it is when he gets possessed. There's just, this orange glow that creeps up from his feet all the way.
Yeah,
all
they were
the way
really
up.
they were really testing the boundaries of what they could do visually.
It's odd.
He
looks cool as a zombie, though. He's all grayed out and shit.
They just combed his hair upwards.
Yeah, and then, once you skip a few, the fucking adults, they swap out the water in the cornfield thing that waters the plants for gasohol, not just gasoline. And they set it on fire, and there's a big old explosion.
That moment when that happened, I was like, oh, that's why they kept drawing attention to those watering things. The little girl was drawing them in her drawings, and you're like, she's really getting in the detail of, farm life here.
And for 3 years, these kids seem to be doing fine as farmers.
Yeah, they did a
good.
great job. That corn was taller than they were. Good job.
Good work, kids.
How do they harvest that?
Maybe they don't.
What do they
Because it'd be
eat, then?
eating their god?
Oh. No, but their god is between the rows. He isn't
Oh,
the rows.
that's true. My mistake. Okay. Yeah, well. The end of this movie is so fucking abrupt.
Oh, I love it, though. I
The end
fucking
of
love
this movie is
it.
hilarious. They grab the kids and they're just like, hey, maybe this has been our character arc all along. Maybe we'll just keep these kids. Sound good to you? All right, yeah. But the car won't start. They're trying to drive the fuck out of there. And then from the back seat, Rachel, the other crazy zealot. She's the crazy zealot among the crazy zealots. She's leading a church of kids that are, doing that blood ritual at the birthday. She's got a scythe in her hand. And then fucking Linda Hamilton is just bap, no.
They punch her in the face and they're like, oh, she's out cold. And then they're like, well, let's go. And then
and then the credits. It's so weird. Just what the fuck are we going to do? I don't know. Let's just send her a get well card from Seattle. And then it says the end. That's it. We're done. This is it.
And they're still walking. It doesn't go black or anything. It's just them all right, let's leave our corn car. And
oh man, it's so weird and kind of anticlimactic. It's just hilarious. But yeah, I can't honestly say that this is a celebrated classic for me. I'm not nuts about Children of the Corn.
it's so fucking insane how many sequels it has spawned.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I have
how
them
many
open. I have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 8, including the remake.
There are 11.
Jesus Christ.
Children of the Corn 2, The Final Sacrifice.
I was gonna say, is one called The Final Showdown?
Oh my god, so this is the one you were talking about for sure. Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest.
There we go.
Children of the Corn 4, The Gathering. Children of the
I've
Corn
seen
5,
that one.
Fields of Terror.
Okay.
Children of the Corn 666, Isaac's
Yes,
Return.
do it.
Okay, we're watching that one later because I am ready.
It's gotta be on Tubi, right?
Children of the Corn. These are all on Tubi, for sure. Children of the Corn Revelation. Children of the Corn 2009, the TV sci-fi remake.
Okay.
Children of the Corn Genesis. Who knows what that one's connected to? Children of the Corn Runaway. And then Children of the Corn 2020.
And then also In the Tall Grass from Joe Hill, 2019. That
And
seems
then
like a
also
spiritual sequel to this
Joe
movie,
Hill's
right?
movie.
Yeah. It's instead of I don't want to spoil the end of that movie in case somebody hasn't seen it. But very, very similar. Just tall grass instead of tall corn.
Surely one of those sequels just has really haunted corn, because that's what I was anticipating, and I got a lot of Isaac and Malachi fighting.
Yeah, I'm sorry
a lot
that,
of culty drama.
I'm sorry that I'm not a Children of the Corn expert, because surely the second one is maybe, or the fourth one, I don't know, is the one that you are looking for.
I mean, I am
get
kind
more
of
corn
excited
shit.
for Isaac's return. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, these movies were always on TV growing up, on TBS, I think. They also just played a lot of Stephen King stuff in general. Needful Things was always on, Christine was always on. So that's kind of how I saw these movies. This is probably the first time I've watched it unedited for television and from beginning to end in one sitting.
Do you think the killing the parents stuff was cut down or nah?
Oh, probably. But, like...
They don't show a whole lot. I mean, they do slit that kid's dad's throat right in front of him. I mean, you don't see anything, but he gets, like, splattered with blood in the face. You're like, shit, that's dark.
No, that one is when they stuff the chef's hand inside the slicer. It's like, that's just gonna hurt him a lot. It's not gonna kill him, but okay. Good image. Real good image. How would you rate Children of the Corn? What's your finished rating on that?
It wasn't a very good movie.
No, it's not, unfortunately. But hey, has the same has the harvest vibe we're looking for this time of year.
It was the vibe.
This is the right time to watch it.
Yeah, and I mean, they decorated a lot. Like, I'm really into Halloween decorating right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they decorated that car. They decorated that diner. They let those houses
you mean
get
the
all musty.
The set decorating team? Like,
no, I mean the
dressers?
Children of the Corn.
Oh, you're saying that when they go... Oh, right, we forgot about this. When they go to venture into town, that's completely abandoned now. There's just corn everywhere.
Yeah, these kids like to decorate.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but they do it.
I love to imagine them showing up with a bunch of, like, old dried up pieces of corn and just laying it on a table with some cobwebs. Like, there you go, decorated.
I don't know. I don't, like, dislike it, but it wasn't good. 1.5, 2 out of 4.
I'm giving it a 1.5.
Yeah. It seems low. That seems unnecessarily cruel. Like, it's not, it just is.
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 4. I do really like some of the sequences where the kids are creeping up and getting ready to kill. Like, I think that's all shot really well. In the cornfield, when the one kid who's trying to escape, we didn't even talk about that. This is how fucking Bert and Vicky make their way to the town. They drive over a kid in the middle of the road who turns out to have his throat slit.
That was all good.
I remember reading the book and thinking that the corn slit his throat. Like, he was escaping because
See, the
I'm a
corn
dumb kid.
needed to be eviler.
Yeah. Surely to God, one of these sequels has like. Now are we gonna watch all 11 Children of the Corn movies?
We really are, because I think this just needs to be wilder. I think this just isn't.
We have to find. There's
wilder.
a Children of the Corn out there for us.
There is.
We're gonna find it.
I need to find the so bad it's good Children of the Corn. If you are a Children of the Corn fan,
aficionado,
can you please let us know the worst one in the series, because we need...
Well, like the Texas Chainsaw 2 of the series.
No, I want the worst of the bunch.
I want something that's bad but still entertaining. I don't want just like, oh, this one's truly awful. Like, I want something that I can laugh with.
Or at.
There's got to be a corny Children of the Corn out there, right?
Oh yeah.
What's let us know on Twitter or in the Nightmare on Film Street Discord. You can find us at NOFS Podcast, or the Discord is nofspodcast.com/Discord. Please, for the love of God, for the love of the thing between the rows, let us know which is the corniest Children of the Corn.
Yeah, because we need we should do a live stream.
We're just building an event here for a movie that we don't know anything about.
Okay, well, if it's on Tubi,
we can do this.
Which it will be.
It will be.
I am very confident. I believe in Tubi and Children of the Corn.
But that's it for us this week. If you enjoyed this episode, please support the show by subscribing, by giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you're listening to this. And if you want more Nightmare on Film Street, more bonus content, head over to patreon.com/Nightmare on Film Street. There's also a link in the episode description. We have the Never Sleep Again series, recapping the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. We are still in the middle of putting out the Midnight at Camp Blood podcast series, recapping the Friday the 13th franchise, and by the sounds of it, we will soon be doing the Children of the Corn franchise.
Oh, we should maybe do that next fall. I feel like that 11 movies, that's a little ambitious.
I'll tell you right now, putting it off is exactly how I want to, is exactly what I'm looking for with this franchise. I will continue to put this off as long as you let me.
Our ranking, though, when we do eventually do it, should be the corniest.
Let's not talk about this like it's a thing we're gonna do.
Should be corniest to least corny.
Okay, well, look out for that coming fall of 2023. Fuck. I'm gonna make you eat a cob of corn for every single movie.
God!
You have to eat 11 cobs of corn.
Can we get different kinds, though? Like a wine tasting?
I don't know if there's 11 different types of corn readily available in our area. I think you get like peaches and cream and Manitoba sweet corn. That's it.
This Manitoba sweet. Oh boy. Until next time, I'm Kim.
I'm John.
Stay
corny.
It appears you made it out alive, but we'll get you next time. Help us to grow the horde. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe. More terror can be found lurking on our website, nofspodcast.com. Until next time, stay creepy, fiends.